Ian O'Neill for SevereMMA, and I'm delighted today to be joined by UFC lightweight contender Drakkar Klose, who was expected to fight Diego Ferreira at 277. Obviously, fight has fallen through. Drakkar is looking for a new opponent right now, but he's still in preparations. He's still going to fight on the card. Drakkar, how are you, man? Thank you for joining me today, first of all. How are you keeping?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. But I'm still continue to train in. Still gonna, my manager told me I'm still gonna fight on the card, so still staying ready for anyone they put in front of me.
Nice. It must be a difficult situation that you're in right now, I guess, with the change of opponent. I mean, does it really turn everything on its head for your training or your preparations with the training, what you're doing, or like do you just prepare for fights the same every time?
I really wanted to fight Diego. You know what I mean? I thought it was a really good matchup for me, stylistic wise. But whoever they give me, it's whatever. It's the fight game. I kind of knew it was going to happen. I thought he was going to pull out next week. In my opinion, I think he made a business decision. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, and he's fighting for his job. And I think I'm a tough opponent for anyone. And, I think there's easier matchups for him to get, to secure another contract for himself, So
yeah, I understand. I seen on your Instagram you're calling out Marco Madsen. Is that a fight that you're hoping to kind of happen?
Yeah, but if he doesn't step in, how many times can you call someone out? And then I'm like, if he doesn't want to fight me, he better not ever, try to want to fight me ever again, because I called you out after my last fight. I know he's training now because he's right down the road here in Arizona. And if he doesn't want to fight me now, it's like, dude, 2 strikes, dude. I'm looking past you.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, is his name the only name in the mix right now, or who else is kind of being floated about?
That's who I wanted to fight. You know what I mean? I don't like his coach, some of his coaches over there, and it's nothing towards him. It's just more towards his coaches. You know what I mean? I'd rather just get in there and beat him up and, shut his coaches up.
Sure. I get you. Somebody who was kind of helping you prepare was your son, Kingston. I seen you in there in the cage with him yesterday, and he was throwing calf kicks like his dad as well. Is that something you enjoy doing, getting in there and moving around a little bit with your son?
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, that was after practice. He's like, Dad, let's go in the cage and fight. So it's like, always got to go in there and, give him his time with me. And, he really enjoes that,
Yeah.
I don't want him to be a fighter, but it kind of feels like he already has that fighter in him. So.
Yeah, I get you. Like I said, I seen him throwing calf kicks like his dad, and it's something actually I wanted to speak to you about, Drakkar, was your use of calf kicks. I mean, with the MMA Lab, obviously your teammate Benson Henderson would have been known to throw calf kicks like way back in the day, but I would like to pinpoint your fight with Mark Giacchesi, where you kind of came on and you really leaned into the calf kicks at that stage. And I think that was kind of a pivotal moment in mixed martial arts, really, that everybody started throwing calf kicks after that fight. And now they've become they've changed the landscape of mixed martial arts in ways, and the way people prepare for fights. I mean, is that something that was in your kind of repertoire all through your career, or how did that develop?
Yeah, just Benson. Benson, I think he's the originator. He created it, you know what I mean, bringing it to mixed martial arts. And, I kind of just rode off that and kind of mastered it. And now everyone else wants to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should take. That's why I was trying to build you up for you to take that responsibility.
I think there's a lot of things that I've done, and then I see other people doing it. You know what I mean? But I don't get enough credit for it, or Benson doesn't get enough credit for it. So
yeah, I understand. What are some of the other things that you feel that you haven't got credit for?
The foot stomps. I had done the foot stomps, and I seen Usman throwing them a couple times. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I get you. Do you remember the first time that you took a calf kick? Like, I mean, I understand that one calf kick can really fuck you up, really, to be honest. I mean, do you remember the first time that you landed one? Was it Benson that did it?
Oh, yes. It was think the first time I went and trained with Benson, hit me with a calf kick, and my leg was messed up for 3 months. So it's very effective if you know how to do it right, and I think I'm a master of it.
Yeah, I think like, you know, I'm not too, obviously not as technical as you, but when you're throwing that calf kick, it's more like throwing it like a soccer kick. You're moving it up in direction rather than when you would throw a higher leg kick when you're kind of trying to chop down. Would that be correct?
Of course, you know what I mean. Like, you know, I think mine's pretty quick. You know, I don't, you know, set it up. I just snap it really quick, and think it's hard for people to even check it because
Yeah,
I don't hit them. I don't hit them with my shin. It's kind of like the side of my foot or side of the inside of my shin. So
yeah, nasty. And I mean, yeah, we've seen many times it changed the landscape of a fight as well. And I'm sure we'll see you doing it a few more times as well along the way. Drakkar, I was just, you know, I know that a lot of the focus was ahead of your last fight was the incident with Jeremy Stephens and the fact that you were out. And, you know, that was obviously a tough kind of situation to take. You know, during that period, you were out for maybe 2 years overall, maybe more than that. I mean, I'd rather not focus on that incident itself. I mean, can we talk about maybe some of the positives, if there was any positives that may came out of that spell on the sidelines?
You know, within that time, you know, I had departed from the MMA Lab, and you know, I kind of was just training by myself, and you know, within that time, you know, I reunited with John Crouch and everyone at the lab, and you know, they were with me from the beginning, and you know, I was happy that, you know, I grew as a man, and you know, I had to apologize to him because, you know, everything that he told me leading up in my whole career, it happened with that certain coach. And I just wish I would have, you know, listened to him. You know what I mean? I kind of let this coach get into my head and steer me away from the people that really mattered and the people that really cared about me. But you know, just growing as a father, just being a better teammate, just everything. I think that time away, it helped me. It really helped me be a man.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, you mentioned John Crouch, you mentioned the MMA Lab there. What is it that makes that gym so special to you?
It's just the bond, you know what I mean? Like, let's just say, like Courtney. Courtney just fought last week. She's back in the gym, you know what I mean? Giving advice to people, you know what I mean? Other gyms, they're not like that. You got like ATT, all these other big gyms where it's all about their self. You got to stick together, you know what I mean? And I think that's what makes the lab so special, is because we don't care who you are. We don't care what you've done. You just got to be there for your brother when your fight's over, because they're going to be there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned Courtney there, and credit to her for going back there and getting back at it again. Obviously, it must have been a difficult decision to take in her last fight with Antonina Shevchenko. I mean, what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Can't leave it up to the judges, especially when you're fighting Valentine's, you know what I mean? The champ sister, you know what I mean? It kind of, even though like when they came and read the scorecard, I kind of knew they were going to give it to her because she was already smiling, like she already knew the results. But it is what it is. I know she wouldn't want to fight Courtney again. I know a lot of these losses that Courtney's had, these split decisions, these girls wouldn't want to fight her again. They don't want to fight her. She's a very tough girl, and it just sucks because these judges, they're messing with people's livelihood. This is how we feed our family, and something has to be changed. You know what I mean? It can't just be decided on 3 people. You know what I mean? Or
sure,
we just get a flat pay or something, because this is how we support our family.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very tough when you're working off a show money and your win money as well, because you're losing half that paychecks from the get-go. And I'd like to see that kind of banished altogether, in my opinion. Just like you said, maybe just have that flat fee. You go in there, and then, you know, your fate isn't in other people's hands then, I guess, after that. But, you know, that must have been a tough one. If there was any other changes maybe that you would make to the system or anything like that, what would it be?
You know what I mean? It just sucks. The fight game sucks. You know what I mean? It's like we don't have a union. Like, you try to start a union, you're not gonna be fighting for that company anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's pretty much just shut up and fight. You know what I mean? And it sucks that it's like that, but I think eventually in the future things will change.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully they do. Back to your own career, Drakkar. I mean, you've been in there with some of the best in the division. Obviously, it must have been hard for you coming off that Beneil Dariush loss, that you couldn't really get back in there and perform and kind of put that in the rear view mirror. But obviously, with everything that happened with the push with Jeremy Stephens, I mean, did that kind of make the whole spell on the sidelines a little bit more difficult for you?
Not at all. You know what I mean? Like, in the Beneil fight, I knew where I messed up. After the fight, I kind of was just laughing about it because, I had that fight. I just got over anxious and, let my guard down, and should have just stuck to, what I knew I could do in my head. You know what I mean? Just slow everything down and just pick them apart and, finish them in the third. Then with the Stephens thing, his back was against the wall. He knew, if you kind of like Diego, you take one more loss, you're going to lose. And, his back was against the wall, and, he wanted to do that cheap shot on me, and, it messed me up. But other than that, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And, I'm live to fight another day. So
absolutely. Well, you did get back in there against Brandon Jenkins. I mean, the feelings ahead of that fight, you must have been very excited to get back in there and perform. And that's exactly what you did against Brandon Jenkins. You got in there, phenomenal win, performance of the night bonus as well. I mean, that must have been a cherry on top of the cake for you, considering everything that happened previously.
Yeah, it felt good just to get back in there and get my feet wet. Going into that fight, I was a little nervous, you know what I mean? Like, coming off a loss and then coming off the push, it's like, I have to go in there and like prove myself, and I think I was the most focused going into that, just like, and make sure I do everything right just to get the victory, and then we'll go from there and let my career continue to go. So
yeah, it was a pretty, like, watching that fight back, it was a pretty flawless performance from yourself. I think even that fight could have been even stopped in round 1 as well, but you went out there round 2, got the job done relatively quickly. Like, I was looking back at it and I could see your emotions. I could see it seemed like a release of frustration that everything had happened, and it was just a release of emotion and happiness after you got your hands raised, or as the fight got finished. I guess it must have felt real good.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm hitting this guy, and I'm like, man, why doesn't he go down? He took some shots, he's a tough kid, and I wish the best for him and in his career. I know he got released, but I just continue to grow. That's all I can do.
100%. When you take a look at the lightweight division right now, what do you make of the landscape? I mean, the top 6 guys aren't even matched up right now. There's a lot of moving and shaking. A couple of newcomers coming in like Fizaev and Saryukin, Gamra, all of those guys. I mean, where do you feel that you stand in that division right now?
I know I'm up there, but be honest, I don't even pay attention because this is all a game. It's a game. You know what I mean? Like the UFC, they know who they want. They're gonna put people in certain positions to, fight for the belt. All I can do is, only thing I control is the person that give me and me going out there and beating them. That's the only thing that I can control.
Yeah, for sure. You must be kind of wanting to test yourself against some top 15, top 10 opponents as well, seeing as, I guess when you fought Beneil, he wasn't in the rankings at the time, but we've seen what he has done. And like you said, you almost had him in that fight. So that must give you the hunger to want to get back in there and test your skills with some of the elite level guys in the division.
Yeah, like that was the first guy I told my manager, like when Diego fought, I was like, what about Beneil? Because I seen that he was been trying to fight. So it's like, let's run it back. But he was like, he thinks it's too soon. The UFC won't make it because it's too soon. But I'm like, hey, it's been 2 years.
So yeah, it's been a while, all right. And that, I mean, that was an exciting as hell fight, and I'd love to see that fight again. So maybe, hopefully, something like that materializes. Maybe if it's not him next, it might be him the fight after that. And I'm sure that's a fight that you're looking to get back as well.
Of course, you know what I mean? Whoever they really give me, but Benil's a nice guy, but I want to go back in there and get that win.
Big time, big time. Where are you at in your UFC contract? Are you running close to the end, or do you have many fights left on it?
I have 2 fights left on my contract, so hopefully I go out here and finish this guy. We could renegotiate something, or if not, I'll just fight it out and see where I go from there. But job security is always good when you have more fights left on your contract.
Absolutely. I think, is that what's in your kind of mindset right now? You are looking to re-sign. You want to continue your tenure in the UFC?
Of course, I love fighting for the UFC. For me, it's more the people that I've met in the UFC. The people behind the scenes. That's who I really give a lot of praise to. They're so nice to me, and I talk to some of these people on a daily. You know what I mean? So, just building those relationships with those people, that's what I really cherish the most.
Sure, I get you. I won't keep you for too much longer, and I really appreciate your time, Drakkar. Something a little bit close to, like, we're an Irish-based mixed martial arts website. Obviously, your teammate Benson Henderson is taking on Peter Queally from Ireland at Bellator coming up in September. Do you have any thoughts on that fight, or how Benson is looking in preparations? I'm sure you probably will be helping him get prepared for that fight.
Yeah, Benson, he's been helping me get ready for this fight, and right after my fight, I'm going to be in there helping him, prepare for his fight. He's looking good. He's ready to. He's always going to go in there and put on a performance and try to get the victory. So I'm gonna try as hard as I can. Give him my body, and hopefully he can go out there and get the victory.
Sure. Any opinions on how you feel that fight will go?
Benson just getting his hand raised.
100%. I know this won't be his first time fighting in Ireland. I don't know whether he's been telling you tales. I mean, would it be something on your bucket list to get the chance to go over there to Ireland and compete, or maybe go over with Benson to maybe corner him or something like that?
Yeah, I need to get a passport first, because they did offer me to go fight over in what's the card next week? London?
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, sorry, I don't have a passport.
Oh, shoot, you gotta get yourself on, man. You gotta travel across. It's a really good. Obviously, it must be a better buzz when you're fighting. I've been in the crowd many times for events, and the atmosphere is pretty crazy. But like I said, I mean, I'm not going to keep you for too much longer. I really appreciate your time. I really hope that you get a fight sorted out over the next couple of days. I'm looking forward to seeing you compete at UFC 277. Any final words, any shout outs, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I want to thank you, taking your time out and, interviewing me. And just, my team at the MMA Lab, my family, 8-man strong, and just everyone that supports me.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Drakkar. It was a real pleasure for me to get to talk to you today. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I look forward to talking to you again sometime down the line. Thanks for taking the time today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.